Oh my God, almost there.
I'm not like horrible, right?
No, yeah. I mean, the hand-eye coordination's outstanding.
Let's go.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of SimplyBe TV. My name is Pooja. I'm their new communications manager, and we have self-worth enthusiast and founder of Your Inner Babe, Jacq Gould, with us today. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Thank you so much for being here today.
God, of course, thank you for having me.
So, Jacq, let's jump right into it. We want to know, what was your inspiration behind Your Inner Babe?
Okay. Let's get dark before we get light. I struggled really horribly in high school and college with eating disorders and self-worth, lack of. I got amazing clinical help when it got to the point in college where it was taking over my life. And even though I had that clinical help, I still felt alone. And I know it's because, I didn't have that person who could look me in the eye and totally get me. I felt like constantly like I was trying to convince people what was going on. So I know if I had that person back then, I wouldn't have struggled as bad or as long. So that's why I do what I do, right? I wanted to be that person. There's an epidemic of lack of self-worth, and I think what inspired me to start the company was I was sick of being a bystander, and I really wanted to actually help people.
So say I took Your Inner Babe out for coffee, who would I meet?
I love that question. You'd meet someone who's really raw and real and not afraid to dive in and go deep, but someone who's been through it, and is ready to sort of like own that, or is already owning it, and wanting to turn their life around. I think the biggest part of it is Your Inner Babe is authentic. I think that person is super authentic, and in an unapologetic way.
Beautiful. So what do you value most about Your Inner Babe?
Oof, a lot of things. I think I value the fact that it is me. Right? Like, I am my brand. Your Inner Babe is me. It's interchangeable.
Totally.
And it's real. So if I'm having a bad day, I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to acknowledge it. I think that's probably the biggest thing with authenticity to me, is like, you have to be willing to own your shit, right? Like, it's not always butterflies and roses. It's like dark sometimes and sad and crappy, and you kind of have to be willing to go deep.
And did that come easy to you, or was that a challenge?
No, definitely not. I mean, I've always been in touch with my emotions. I was a drama major in college, and all my life I was a drama. I was a drama. I am drama. No, I've always been in touch with my emotions and willing to go there. But I think when I started doing the work, and I quote it because it's like the self-work, it's that big thing, I stopped being willing to open up as easily. It got scary. I'd run away. Like, my therapist used to call me the runner. Like, I'd come for a few sessions and then not come for months. But once I got to a point where I was like super comfortable with me, which is an everyday choice. But once I got to that point, yeah, I am comfortable with my emotions. I'm comfortable with the highs and with the lows. You have to be,
right.
It's not every day is gonna be a good day. And I'm a big proponent of that. It's not every day is gonna be a good day, but you can choose to find good in every day. And with the good comes the bad. You need both.
So for people, women who are also trying to get to that stage of, making the choice to be like, I'm gonna value myself today, what advice would you have for them?
Prioritize yourself. I think value and prioritize is like the same thing. Make sure that you're filling up your own cup before you try and fill up other people's. I feel like that's a huge problem, is everyone goes to try and help other people before helping themselves. Mm-hmm. I think if you stop focusing on the hows and you actually just do it, you then feel so much more motivated. Like talk about valuing yourself. You're motivated instead of demotivated. Like with clients, I always have them start a session with what's going well, because we're conditioned to focus on what's not going well. And nothing sounds less motivating than focusing on everything that's not going well. So even if it's the smallest thing, like making the bed in the morning, like you get in this groove and you're like, okay, I made the bed. I'm like, what else? And they're like, okay, I like drank a lot of water. Okay, and what else? And you get in this groove and all of a sudden you're energized and ready to go. But it's valuing what makes you you and where you're at that point and just showing up for that person. So that I think my biggest piece of advice would be like, just show up. Show up for you.
Show up, be present.
Yeah, show up, be present.
So you spoke about realness and being authentic in our previous conversations. The term authenticity seems so overused in this day and age. What does that mean to you?
That's funny because it's like one of my favorite words. Or it's like what I would hope someone would say when I left the room. Like, that girl's authentic. But yeah, I agree, it's a little overused. I think being authentic means to own your imperfections. You know, not just what makes you perfect, and I don't even believe in perfection, but owning the imperfections and being unapologetic about those flaws, because we all have them. I think my favorite life motto, especially like what I'm living by right now, is you really don't have to be perfect to inspire others. You just have to own those imperfections and then let other people be inspired by those, you know? So I think authenticity it's about being unapologetically you and like not worrying about what other people think. And back to the bad day, the good day thing, like if you're having a bad day, owning it, not trying to hide it. If you're having a good day, owning it. You know, it's just simply being you.
We at SimplyBe love your personal brand, especially on Instagram. You know, we see that you're almost at 16,000 followers. How has your personal brand grown, and what kind of a difference has that made in your persona on and offline?
That's a good question. So 16,000 followers, that was never my goal, right? I didn't set out on Instagram to grow a following, to be an influencer. I wanted to grow a following for my ultimate mission, which is to reach as many girls as I can and help change the way that they feel about themselves. I think my following grew when I just sort of started being me, like really me, and not just like showing my highlight reel, but like explaining when I'm going through it. So I think it's grown my brand or helped my brand because people can relate. You know, no one can relate to like everything that looks perfect, or like the people who are traveling all the time or like have the perfect lives. Like, it's not relatable. It actually makes people feel like crap, you know? So I think it's grown the brand because I'm just able to really be myself and connect with my followers, because what's crazy is my community on Instagram, like the way we communicate the most or the way we engage, like, is through DM. Like, the amount of girls that I DM every single day once I post it's why I post. It's like what gets me over the hump every day where I'm like, I don't want to post. I post to talk to the girls, right?
Do you have a specific moment or a specific DM that you recall that, really touched you or moved you?
I posted about reinventing yourself, or having the ability to reinvent yourself like as many times as you possibly want. I mentioned before that I was a drama major in college. And there was a point in my life where I really thought that was like the only thing I could do. I went to college for it, I committed, that was my dream, to be on Broadway, and dreams change and it's scary. And it's actually sometimes harder for people in your life to accept it than it is for you. But I posted about the fact that you have that ability to reinvent yourself as many times as you want. And I got so many DMs about people who were stuck in career paths right now that they're afraid to leave because it's like their identity and all these things. And I think it's so special to me because I started my company so that I could be that person who could look someone in the eye and be like, I get it, and with these girls who are DMing me based on what I'm talking about on Instagram, and those captions that I post are coming from how I'm feeling that day. Like, I don't post every day. When I do post, I feel I get a much bigger response because it's real emotions, and it just actually touches people. So it's really rewarding. It's like another way to, I'm not coaching people, but it's another way to connect with people.
To me, that really sounds like you are presenting yourself as, as this boss babe in this industry and online. You are a superhero, and we love you for it. If you were a real superhero, you are a real superhero. But if you had superpowers, which one would you pick? It could be a couple too.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a superhero, I'd take over the world. But no, that is my goal, to take over. No, I'm kidding. Superhero. I think if I had a superpower, I would have like a little bag of, like fairy dust. But I wouldn't call it fairy dust, I'd call it self-worth dust.
Ooh.
And I'd be able to just like have this like 3D, or not 3D vision, but like laser focus on people who like had that lack of. And I could just like walk up to them and like they wouldn't see me. I'd like be able to, this is combining like a million superpowers. I'd be able to like snap my fingers and disappear, like be invisible, and then like sprinkle the self-worth dust on them and then just like walk away. And like people won't even know I was doing it. Like I wouldn't want anyone to know it was me. That would be sick.
That would be sick. I think people would just, imagine them waking up and being like, holy crap, like this is me. I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm owning it.
Yeah, like what happened? They wouldn't even know. They'd just be like, oh, I feel like amazing. I kill it.
Love that. So we have one last question for you, and I know you touched base on this earlier, but what does SimplyBe mean to you?
SimplyBe. So for so long, I fought me and what made me me. And in so many ways that held me back, like pretty hard. But the second I started to believe in me, I grew and I soared. Like I feel like when one of the most empowering things a woman can do is know herself. So, okay, I know myself, I'm empowered, but knowing your worth is, in my opinion, when you shine. And so once I learned my worth and was comfortable with me, that's when I became successful. So I feel like SimplyBe is it's just like simply be me, because that's when you're successful. It's when you simply be yourself.
Thank you.
We
love that. All of us love that. That's what we strive to hold on to every single day.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
It was so lovely to have you. Thank you so much for taking the time.
It was fun to be here and
good.
Love these dogs, and then like take some home. I feel like my puppy would.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys for tuning in to this episode of SimplyBe TV. If you guys are looking forward to monetizing your passion, up-leveling your digital presence, and building a career by simply being you, like, follow, subscribe below, and I'm Pooja, signing out, and we'll see you at the next episode of SimplyBe TV.
Let's go.